One of the things that come up when producer Mark said, hey, I love that. I think you should just quickly do some ice on it was the stuff around failing alone we touched upon. And I think I said something along the lines of the things that I'd really struggled with, I kept trying to do on my own, which actually is a huge part of society, right?
Well, maybe not failing alone, facing things alone.
Yeah, I kept failing, but I realised a common pattern was I was always doing that on my own.
Yeah.
So trying to... a big thing for me in my life was this anxiety issue for a long time that I managed to go through life with, but it was holding me back a lot.
Yeah.
That sort of, it wasn't helping me, and it was stopping me from doing things that were beneficial. It became a real big problem. My emotions became a big problem eventually for me on a kind of more silent level. And that's, of course, when you see people like Paul that we were working with early on and other men, you're like, wow, yeah, that's how I feel. I just haven't shared that really. And it's been causing me problems and I need to do something about it. But I've been trying to do something about it on my own for so long. And I'm repeating that cycle of try it, fail, try it, fail, try it, fail. And that's where the value of support and community comes in. We are communal. What are we?
Yeah, communal based. Yeah, massive.
If someone look at Mike, just smiles, just say, I'm going to leave you with that one. I don't know. What is
community. Like, we're all about community.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, is it communal? Communal.
I'll leave you alone with that.
Anyway, so community is important, I think.
Support network.
It comes back to that whole thing, it takes a village to raise a child and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we are intent on doing things on our own. Maybe that's this need to prove things. I don't know. But I'm going to do this on my own. I'll make it. But I couldn't. And it reminded me of a little story that I'll share with you, and then you can we can go from there. But one of the common reasons people sometimes use to not join, say, our communities is, I want to join. Great, let's crack on. A few days later, yes, I haven't joined because I just want to, I want to get myself I need to be in a better place before I join. So what?
Yeah.
No, I need to be in a better place before I, come in and get some help. And I always remember when I ran a boot camp back in the day, love that boot camp. A lot of people would say to me, I want to join. And then they wouldn't turn up for the first session, and you'd be like, you know the deal, you're smiling. You get in touch. Hey, what happened? Yeah, I've decided I'm just not ready. Always I'm not ready. I need to get fit. I need to get fitter.
Yeah, needs to be fit.
Before I come. What, you need to get fitter before you join the thing
that's going to
get you fitter? But that's the logic we use. We've all done it. I need to be in a better place before I do the thing that's going to get me in a good place.
Yeah.
I need to have a bit more energy before I do the stuff that's going to give me more energy. And that's the example we use is like, we think we're going to, the reality is the thing of this, God, let me get my words out. The thing that I'm trying to get across here is I'll always throw back quite directly, how long you been trying to get fit for? How long you been trying to get in emotional shape for? How long have you been trying to sort your business out, if that's what they're coming for? Yeah, years. Fucking hell, that's a big old seagull up there, isn't it? Someone clip-clopping on the roof. Yeah, years. All right. So what makes you think you had to do it on your own this time? That may sound like a sales tactic, right? And that's sometimes where you share that when your job is paid coaching. But it's not. It's the reality check. So why are you going to have to do it on your own this time? You've not managed it yet.
Bullshit.
But it's a fear mechanism.
Again. Yeah.
It's like, oh God, I'm afraid of doing something that's going to be good for me. I'll talk myself out of it. I always joke. Eventually, the person who, say it was a woman, I'm going to join your boot camp. Oh, I'm just not ready yet. Eventually, be like, oh, I'm going to go running now with my husband in the morning. Yeah, you've tried that before. And you don't say that, but 6 months later, you're doing that running. Bump into him. No, we did it for a couple of weeks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think we all do that. It's not all of us, but it's a common thing in the areas that we struggle to change. We try and do it on our own. We don't involve other people. We don't get help. We don't get support. And that is one of the major reasons we won't keep going. Because it's easier to keep going when you have people in your corner.
Big time.
And people who know what they're doing.
Well, that's another issue to address is 99% of people giving this advice are talking from theory. If we was actually to go, how's that working out for you? Do drop short. So you got to be very careful. I think in finding the right person, the right people, which I think we stand for very well, is we practice what we preach, right? Everything we teach is a skill that we've mastering or mastered.
Have you earned it or learned it?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think for the most part, you've earned it. You're like, oh, you've earned your flipping stripes. You haven't learned, you haven't read it.
We get it. We understand the struggle. We understand the emotional cycle of change. That's why we can meet the conversation ahead. We understand that we don't overwhelm you from the beginning and make sure that we're just putting up some basic routines, because that's enough of a stretch for most people. Once you lay down that, we start building it out. We start building it out on that. We don't want to start talking about brain waves and, the mechanics of bleeding meditation when you can't even drink a pint of water in the morning.
But support.
Yeah, support, guidance, the right skill, the right step,
Crucial.
the right time.
So why do we avoid it?
Well, sometimes
Why do we avoid looking stupid maybe sometimes? Is it we're afraid of looking stupid? What the belief that has to get cracked, I think, or certainly this logical excuse is, I need to do this before I do that.
Yeah.
I need to get further along before I join the gym. I just need to get a bit fitter.
Yeah, well,
it's like you're going there to get fit.
But that belief is really a justification of some shit that's not true, right? Come on.
Yeah.
Because they know they're talking shit. And they usually give that excuse to avoid the very thing that they need to do, because, again, they're about to step out of the comfort zone. And what's that going to trigger?
Yeah.
Alarm bells. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, wait, fear's kicking in. Why are we doing this? We're not really clear on why we're doing it. You've not got a clear step and plan, so to say. So I'm just going to hold back, justify some shit that makes me not do it. That sounds okay, maybe gets you over the line. And they're actually trying to convince us, not themselves, of why they're not doing it, because the deep-rooted reason is what they know, right? Which we can't pick out. And this, when it goes back, when I started